by Swami Vivekananda. Chapter Definition of Bhakti. In commenting on the Sutra of Patanjali, or by the worship of the Supreme Lord, Bhoja says, Pranidhana is that sort of bhakti in which, without seeking results such as sense enjoyments, etc., all works are dedicated to that teacher of teachers. Bhagavan Vyasa also, when commenting on the same, defines Pranidhana as a form of bhakti by which the mercy of the Supreme Lord comes to the yogi and blesses him by granting him his desires. According to Shandilya, bhakti is intense love to God. The best definition is, however, that given by the king of bhaktas, Prahlada. The deathless love which the ignorant have for the fleeting objects of the senses, as I keep meditating on thee, may not that sort of intense love for thee slip away from my heart. Love for whom? For the Supreme Lord ISHWARA. Love for any other human being, however great, cannot be bhakti, for as Ramanuja says in his Sri Bhashya, quoting an ancient Acharya, that it is a great teacher. From Brahma to a clump of grass, all things that live in the world are slaves of birth and death caused by karma. Therefore, they cannot be helpful as objects of meditation, because they are all in ignorance and subject to change. In commenting on the word Anurakti used by Shandilya, the commentator Sapnadesha says that it means Anu, after, and Rakti, attachment, that is, the attachment which comes off after the knowledge of the nature and glory of God, else a blind attachment to anyone. Example, to wife or children would be bhakti. We plainly see, therefore, that bhakti is a series of succession of mental efforts at religious realization, beginning with ordinary worship and ending in a supreme intensity of love for Ishwara. The philosophy of Ishwara. Who is Ishwara? From whom is the birth, continuation, the dissolution of the universe? He is Ishwara, the eternal, the pure, the ever-free, the almighty, the all-knowing, the all-merciful, the teacher of all teachers, and above all, He, the Lord, is of His own nature inexpressible love. These certainly are the definitions of a personal God. Are there then two gods? The not this, the Satchinanda, the existence, knowledge, bliss of the philosopher, and this God of love of the bhakti? No, it is the same Satchidananda, who is also the God of love, the impersonal and personal in one. It has always to be understood that the personal God worshipped by the bhakta is not separate or different from the Brahman. All is Brahman, the one without a second. Only the Brahman as unity or absolute is too much of an abstraction to be loved and worshipped. So the Bhakta chooses the relative aspect of Brahman, that is Ishwara, the supreme ruler. To use a simile, Brahman is as the clay or substance out of which an infinite variety of articles are fashioned. As clay, they are all one, but form or manifestation differentiates them. Before every one of them was made, they all existed potentially in the clay, and of course they are identical substantially. But when formed, and so long as the form remains, they are separate and different. The clay mouse can never become a clay elephant, because as manifestation form alone makes them what they are, though as unformed clay, they are all one. Ishvara is the highest manifestation of the absolute reality, or in other words, the highest possible reading of the absolute by the human mind. Creation is eternal, and so also is Ishvara. In the fourth part of the fourth chapter of his sutras, after stating that almost infinite power for and knowledge which will come to the liberated, the soul after the attainment of moksha, Vyasa also makes the remark in an aphorism that none, however, will get the power of creating, ruling, and dissolving the universe, because that belongs to God alone. In explaining the sutra, it is easy for the dualistic commentators to show how it is all the way impossible for a subordinate soul, Jiva, to have the infinite power and total independence of God. The thorough dualistic commentator Madhvacharya deals with this passage in his usual summary method by quoting a verse from the Varaha Purana.